let's be honest, you don't need a camera rig, but it is fun. For me, there are three major benefits of rigging a camera. First, a bigger, brighter monitor and a larger battery is always nice to have. And second, the added weight makes handheld footage more stable. And third, the camera looks more intense or say professional to the client, which is probably the most important reason to rig a camera in many cases. Meanwhile, I have three reasons not to rig a camera. First, a conventional camera rig is usually too big to fit in a backpack or even some like gear suitcases, which means it needs to be broken down into pieces and put together at the job site. Second, it takes time to take down and put together a camera rig, which means three, once the camera is rigged, it's meant to stay in this rigged form. I am a one-man band. I've gone to many gigs where I was both the videographer and the photographer. So if my video camera is rigged like this, I had to bring another dedicated photo camera on me. That, I'm happy to say, has changed. This is my current video production camera rig, which takes less than 30 seconds to set up and counted 5 seconds to take the camera off from. It is equipped with the most advanced bomb-proof V-mount battery I've ever seen. A 2000 nits 5.5-inch monitor which can control the settings of my FX3 wirelessly. It protects the camera screen and the best of all, it hides extra cables. A cage is still necessary because only then I can secure the camera with 2 screws, unless you have the Sony FX2, which is the camera I recommend every man to get because it has 2 screw holes. My main hybrid camera are the Sony FX3 and the Sigma FP, which is right there. If you don't know, I do use the FX3 for photos too, because besides having 12 megapixels and no EVF, the FX3 is totally fine as a photo camera. It is especially handy for event photo streaming because of the small file size. Now, the Lumix S1 Mark II is probably theoretically a better hybrid camera than the Sony FX3, so I'm constantly debating if I should leave Sony for Lumix. That's why when I designed this rig, I need to make sure that it is universal enough so that if I switch to Lumix, I can still use the S1 Mark II on this rig. In this current state, this thing is nothing more than a mock-up, just like my custom camera bag. This is basically saying if any company, SmallRig, NiceRig, Toyota, I don't know, was to make an all-in-one camera rig, these are the features I want. With that said, I have used this rig for a couple gigs, and I can confirm that it is a totally functional unit with no major flaws. So, let me show you how I built this and how it works. The core of this rig, and I should say the main part that made this idea possible, is this foldable V-mount battery plate from NiceRig, and paired with this top handle, which is also made by NiceRig. This is a pretty complete camera rig on itself. I had to add this cube converter thing from NiceRig 2 to offset the top handle so that it doesn't interfere with the big V-mount battery. The V-mount battery I'm using is this X99 from SmallRig. This is a new model, and like I said, it's the most advanced V-mount battery I've ever seen, also the most tough, rugged. It has 2 D-tap ports, 2 DC ports, 1 USB Type-A port, and 2 USB Type-C ports, which are both 100 watts in and out. And you can read the overall status of this battery, including the power percentage left here, the total wattage it's outputting, remaining shooting time, and the temperature in both Celsius and Fahrenheit. And it also shows the status of each port in real time. And you can adjust the brightness of the screen by swiping down to this submenu and just click here. And also, there is even a little flashlight you can turn on by pressing this button here on the submenu, and there is a little flashlight if you need to mount this battery in pitch darkness and you can't find a V-mount it's supposed to go onto. Here is a little handy flashlight for you. What's even crazier is that this battery connects to the SmallGoggle app, the same app I use to control my SmallRig lights, so that if looking at the screen on the battery is not an option, I can still check the battery level and everything the screen tells me in the app. So yeah, never thought it to be necessary, but it is actually nice to be able to see the battery status from an app. God, 2025. However, those are not the real reason why I use this SmallRig X99 on this particular rig, and we will get to that in a second. Let me go through the other items really quick. The monitor I usually use is this LH5P2 from Portkey, 5.5 inches, 2000 nits, which is really bright. You've probably never seen it, but usually when I record these YouTube videos, when I usually have a desk here, this monitor is always mounted like right there, just out of the frame. It connects to my FX3 through Wi-Fi, and I can adjust the aperture, shutter angle, white balance, focus point. Pretty much it can adjust everything you need when shooting, and I can press record right from here. It's just convenient. Plus, Nitsy makes a cage for this monitor, which is a luxury item, but I like it. I love touching metal than plastic. The monitor mount I'm using is this one from Tilta because it looks good. I also need an Arca Swiss base plate to quick release the camera. The key is to use one that has at least 2 mounting screw holes so that it doesn't slip or rotate. I have 3 here. Putting everything I just mentioned together and you will get this. This is already a pretty competent video rig. Bigger battery, bigger monitor, top handle, Manfrotto base plate. It is what a rig does. But I don't like the fact that the camera screen is unprotected. And this whole shibari situation. Plus, this unit is not exactly compact to store. If I take the camera off, this is what I'm left with. Sure, I can just take the battery off and fold the base plate back like this, but I'm still left with, this piece and this V-mount battery. These 2 things occupies a lot of space, and this is kind of awkward to store. So I made this. What you're looking at is a 3D printed add-on module I designed specifically for this Nitsy rig folding plate. I didn't spend too much time refining the aesthetic because this is as usual a prototype, so please don't pay attention to how it looks, but what it does. Mounted on this side is a D-tap splitter. I picked this one because the 2 D-tap female ports are in this orientation, which is the only correct orientation. It also has a Type-C port, which can output 35 watts maximum. Although the X99 has all the ports I will ever need, I'm preparing this rig for productions where my X99 might run out and I have to use one of those rented old V-mount batteries. In the middle of everything is a box. Yes, literally a box. It is for hiding all the extra cables, which is very, very important to me. This is the most traumatizing soldering job that I don't want to show anybody. I will fix it someday. This box is mounted with two 1/4 inch 20 screws. There are 4 cutouts on the left, right, I don't know if you can see, they're here, and 2 on the top wall. This is where all the cables go in and out of the box. I will show you how I run my cables in a second. Mounted on this side is a screen protector. I made it to be adjustable so that it works with different camera bodies. The idea is that I can slide things around until the screen protector lines up with the camera screen, and then I can tighten the screws. The screen protector can accommodate most camera screens on the market. Once the lid is closed, it's held on with 4 magnets and quite secure. Now, once this whole unit is lined up and bolted down, I run my cables. The main purpose is to hide the extra cables in this box and only leave the essential lens outside. After that's done, I just slide this cover panel on and lock it with a screw. On this cover panel, there is another V-mount base plate. I will show you why in a second. Before that, there's one more accessory I really enjoy using, which is the SmallRig F60 focus puller. I love this piece of gear so much because it's not only a focus puller, but also a palm rest. I don't know why other focus pullers don't have this feature, but I think it is just invaluable. I have linked to this item in the description, and if you want it, you should get it as soon as possible because unfortunately SmallRig is coming out with a new F60 focus puller, the same name but without the palm rest. It shouldn't be called the F60 because this with the palm rest is the F60. Anyway, this old model is already discontinued, but you can still get it on their online store with a discount. In my opinion, you should get this instead of the new model because of this palm rest. To mount the F60, I use this rod clamp from Nitty. This is how my rig looks with the camera on it. It operates just like any other camera rig, except that the camera screen is well protected and there is minimum amount of exposed cables. What makes all the difference is when I need to take the camera off, either to take photos or put it on a gimbal. Let's do a countdown and see how quick I can take this just bare minimum camera off this rig, okay? 3, 2, 1, go. Release this, unplug, Swiss plate, boom. That's 10 seconds. Is that quick enough? For maximum mobility, I can even sling this thing. If I can just do that, I can sling this thing on my shoulder and walk around until I need to put it back together. What's really fun about this unit is that it can transform into a very compact form for storage. Disconnect the D-tab, remove the battery, fold this plate back like this, mount the battery on the other side, reconnect the D-tab, turn the monitor 180 degrees, secure the dangling HDMI cable with the screen protector. Finally, reposition the focus puller if you are as OCD as I am. Oh, that's good enough. Here you go. This is everything I need to rig up my camera in one single unit. It comfortably sits on the rubber paddings of this SmallRig X99 V-mount battery, which is the other main reason why I like this battery for this specific rig. Did I tell you that this battery is IP54 water and dust proof and also 1.5 meter drop proof? Did I say that? Well, now you know. You can probably tell by how rugged it looks. I did drop it from this table once accidentally, but nothing happened. It didn't even leave any scratch mark. Anyway, this is my portable camera rig, and just like my Sigma FP, I need to name it. In my beloved Gundam anime series, there is a type of weapon that's utterly unique and badass. They are usually separate units to which a Gundam can connect and obtain infinite firepower and mobility. Throughout nearly 50 years of Gundam history, there's one of those booster pack type of weapon unit that remains a legend, and in my opinion, is one of the coolest sci-fi machine design ever. The RX-78 GPO3 Dendrobium from Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 Stardust Memories. That's basically what I have here, a separate unit to which my camera can attach to and become a badass video production rig. Thus, I will name this Dendrobium. Dendrobium. That's quite mouthful, isn't it? Dendro. I'm gonna call this Dendro. If you want to build a Dendro yourself, I have links to most of the components in the description. As for the 3D file of this box part, this part, I will share it with my channel members. I'm still figuring out how the channel member thing works. Just once it opens, you can subscribe and get the 3D files for this, and also the files from any of my previous videos, and of course my future designs. Let me know what you think of this design. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I will stop talking.